Do you want to take advantage of what may be the longest refi boom in history and thrive throughout 2020 instead of struggle, regardless of the economic downturn, even if you're running short on your own database and past client list to work for refi business? Then pay attention to this, because I'm about to cover what hundreds of other loan officers are doing right now to take advantage of this situation that you can too. If 2020 hasn't already been one of your best years yet, it's probably because you haven't gotten enough refi business. And we currently work with over 200 loan officers across the country, and many of them are having their best year ever, and it's mostly due to the refi business they've been getting. We would normally never recommend building your entire business on refinances, but you already know it can be quite lucrative and help you get through the peaks and valleys common with purchase business. And that's more true now than it has ever been in our lifetimes. If you already know about our system, you probably realize that we typically focus on purchase business because it's evergreen. But with rates the way they are in the new world we've suddenly been thrust into, we've had a huge demand from loan officers wanting to use our proven mortgage and real estate marketing system to snatch up more refi business. In fact, some of them are going all in on this strategy, and for a very good reason. So what we've done is adapted our typical system we've developed over the last few years and changed it to be specific for refinance. And I'm about to show you how that works. But I wanted to briefly cover some important things to consider about the economy and mortgages and the reason why so many companies are going all in on this strategy. First, we all know the quarantine has had a substantial impact on our economy, but it's not even close to over yet. The full impact of the disruption won't be realized for months down the road due to the coming restructuring of companies, changes in job roles, reduced incomes, and more changes we've yet to see or can even predict as the ripple effect continues to touch more lives. Realize this. Not everyone has been impacted yet, but the vast majority of people will be. Even people who own their own homes outright, living off of pensions and retirement, will be impacted and looking for refinance options. Many of them will be called on to financially assist with family members, which means one thing: the refi boom will likely continue throughout all of 2020. And smart loan officers will seize this opportunity to avoid uncertainty. Second, with some of the big players like Chase and Wells Fargo tightening their lending guidelines, they're barely a competitor anymore, and there's more room for the smaller guys to steal the show. And if you consider the fact that almost 54% of American homes have at least 50% equity in them, you better believe refinance options are going to be a financial resource in the coming months for many people as they look to reduce their monthly expenses or assist their family members. Just look at these statistics from Bloomberg and Adam. 37% of all homes are owned free and clear, and 26.7% of the mortgaged homes have at least 50% equity in them. So if getting ahead of the curve and taking advantage of this situation is important to you, even if your own database is drying up or non-existent, there's no need to worry. We have a perfect solution to remain highly profitable throughout the downturn. So let's dive into what we're doing with hundreds of loan officers who are leveraging this opportunity right now. Unlike places that sell refi leads or other leads, we do things quite differently. First off, the leads are 100% exclusive. Secondly, the leads will know exactly who they are talking to, meaning they're already warmed up to you before you get on the phone with them. They're not going to be surprised that you're contacting them or wonder if you're the right person to talk to about their refi. And that's because our marketing style approach is very different than typical lead generation. Blind lead generation makes it so difficult to connect with leads. And that's what you're getting in most cases when you purchase leads, which is why we don't use that method. Third, we have a few options, including some that come with a guaranteed quantity of refi leads. Fourth, you'll have an awesome automated follow-up system in place to help manage the leads and make working them easier. And fifth, the cost to do this is way cheaper than buying leads from places like Bankrate or LendingTree. And when I say cheaper, I mean 5, 10, even 20 times cheaper. And while you may be skeptical of that last statement, there's something you must understand. Many lead sellers actually buy their leads from lead aggregators, or in other words, market agencies like us. And of course, they mark those costs up a lot. And it's worth mentioning this. While we could, if we wanted to, we have never sold leads to second-party resellers. We believe it would taint our reputation and the marketing principles we stand behind, even if that means less money in our pockets. So let's dive into the basics of how our system works. First off, we're going to use all the advertising platforms Facebook owns, and they actually have 6, and we're going to use it to attract and acquire the leads. Those leads will fill out a long-form questionnaire, so you know right away what their situation is and have plenty of data and know if you can help them or not. The moment they fill out the form and hit submit, a few things are going to happen. First off, all that form data is going to get sent to a CRM. You're going to get an email and text alert that a new refi lead has been generated, and the CRM will automatically begin to communicate with them in a manner that appears as though you're doing it. It's primarily going to happen through text and email. And I will tell you, text is where the magic really is because most people respond to text, but that's not it. because they'll know exactly who you or your company is before they even begin the process. And this is really important because it significantly changes the lead's perception of you and greatly increases your connection rate. We found this approach to be critical in your success and a complete game changer for conversions. Some of our clients are converting 30% or more into applications at this point. And you can even hear our clients talking about that in our mini testimonials if you'd like to check those out. Now, after a person becomes a lead, there's one more step to assist in the immediate conversion. They will be offered a time to schedule a call on your automated booking calendar system. And that system knows when you're busy or free and only allows people to schedule when you're available. And they'll get several text and email reminders about their approaching appointments, so your show up rate is very high. But that's not it. We know life is busy for you and them. And that means even with all the fancy automations, there can still be some challenges connecting with leads. But we have an awesome way to make handling that much easier. So not only will there be an instant communications from the CRM and automated call reminders from the booking calendar, but we've also set up automations for any outcome or challenge in communicating you may face that can be launched at a click of a button. And automations for when they miss a call, if they need additional follow-up, if they need more time to get everything together, and many, many other scenarios. We've created all this because we know that most loan officers just don't have a good, well thought out follow-up system in place. We are responsible for the generation of over 1 million mortgage leads over the last couple of years, and we know the challenges and pitfalls that go along with conversion. And through the years of tweaking and working closely with hundreds of loan officers, we've co-developed these systems so you don't have to. So instead of trying to figure out what to do to convert leads and systemize the process yourself, you'll be giving a system that's already been proven and set up for you. And of course, you're going to be trained on it as well. And this is another huge difference between what we do and what lead sellers do. They just sell you overpriced leads and say, good luck. We provide you a complete marketing system and a plan that goes from A to Z. But I don't want to mislead you. There's a reason why it's called working leads. There's still some work on your end. So in other words, this opportunity isn't for lazy loan officers. And in fact, there's no lead system in the world that is. So here's the deal. We have a huge demand for our system. Because of this, we just can't work with anyone and everyone. In fact, there are limited spots available for each state. So if you think this might be for you, you can schedule a time to talk with us about this program by clicking the link below this video. And as a side note, if you have any reservations about whether you can participate in our programs or not, we follow compliance guidelines pretty strictly, and we know what it takes to meet them. In fact, we're an approved vendor or have worked directly under the compliance supervision of the following major companies: Prime Lending, Fairway, Alcova, Nations Reliable Lending, Nations Lending, Bank of England, Guaranteed Rate, and many, many others. So get ready to discuss beating the recession and possibly having your strongest year yet. But there's no need to beat around the bush about cost. So let's go over the options real quick. We have 4 options: 50 to 100 leads guaranteed each month. We have a package with 100 to 200 leads guaranteed each month. We also have custom quantity packages we can discuss with you. And lastly, we have a done with you training program where we can actually teach you how to do this for yourself. And by the way, if you think you might want to learn to do this yourself, which is definitely the most affordable option, please note this. We have a stellar 100% student success rate with well over 150 students who've participated in this specific program. Lastly, our agreements, they're just month to month. There's no long-term commitments, and pricing starts at just $1,000 for the Done With You training programs and $2,000 per month for the Done With You client programs. So there is a lot more to cover here, but I wanted to keep this video as short as possible, so we'll get to the rest of this on your call. Schedule your call now to secure your spot and get ahead of the curve and beat the recession. We'll see you on the other side.